we're going to get Josh and Terry are going to take you to the back, and they're going to have they're going to go back there and get dressed. In the meantime, I want to give it a question and answer period, so you guys can go on up and get dressed. We're going to take care of you. Do we have any questions from the audience about this question? Very good question. Why are they tied? So we talked about this as an electric sport, so it's all done now in modern day. Back in the original Olympic fencing days, it would be very difficult to know who scored. So two parts to that question. One is also why they wear the white uniform. The white uniform is very important because back in the day they didn't have electronic scoring apparatus, and they also didn't have tons of people to watch to judge what was happening. So back in the day, the original weapons were not electric. They were just a regular steel blade. At the end of it, they'd have a bunch of cloth wrapped at the end. And then they have buckets of colored chalk near the fencing strip. So they kind of wave it around in the colored chalk. Then when they went on practice in their fencing clubs and they hit the body, poof, that colored chalk would come off from the body. That way you'd be able to tell where you're hit and what color your chalk was versus somebody else's. So you'd be able to tell what's going on. Now, we have new colored chalk, and we also don't want to have 5 referees to be able to know who's scoring when. So now what you see is that this is on a pulley system that's connected to their fencing jacket. That fencing jacket has a wire that runs underneath the fencing jacket and it actually plugs into the epee. Down that middle of the blade, there are actually 2 wires that run down the whole end of the blade to a button. That button goes down, connects the 2 dots, and that completes the circuit. So it's basically an on and off switch. So this is basically just a relay system to our scoring box. The thing you didn't actually see is that if they both hit, and that one hits 1 second before the other, only one light's going to turn on. The machine will lock out so the other person can't score. So the only way you'll ever see 2 lights turn on is if they hit at exactly the same time. So 1/25th of a second difference. So when you're looking at the speed of fencing, and you see both lights come on, it basically means a simultaneous attack happened, and both athletes hit at the same time. If only one hits and a light comes on, but you look like they both got hit, it's because the other one hit just a fraction of a second before the other, and they locked them out. So that's basically their way of being able to tell who hit and who hit first. So very good question. Any other questions about fencing? In the back. If it hits the ground, so here we had to make a shift to set up on your stage on an Olympic venue or at a fencing club. You'll always see them fencing on a metallic surface, copper or aluminum, because the same reason is if they hit that metal guard, the metal guard is not the body, because it has the point. So when you fence electronically in a competition environment, you would also fence on a metal surface, and if they hit the floor, it would be grounded out, and it wouldn't be able to score. So here it will, because it's just a regular wooden floor, but any competition site would be grounded, and it wouldn't count. Question? No, in Epic, everything counts. That's why you have to wear full body, head to toe garments. Everything counts. That's why the mask has to be rated to deal with the same thing. Now, the mask is not a target you would generally go for. It might glance off, so you probably go for the body, which is a sure hit, but everything counts. In foil, only the torso counts. Just imagine you're wearing a vest, and it's saber from the waist up. Saber was a cavalry weapon, and it's the only cutting weapon. Foil and epee are both with a point. Saber was the cutting weapon, and it was from the waist up.
So how long is an Olympic match?
An Olympic match is 15 touches, so there'll be 3 periods. Each period is 3 minutes of fencing, and then there'll be a 1-minute break. Similar to boxing, your break, come out, your coach can come up, give you advice, give you a drink of water, give you some new strategies, then you go back out for 3 more minutes of fencing. First one to score 15 touches, or whoever's ahead at the end of the 9th minute. Correct, it's a slashing weapon. The whole blade is electric. It's a very low voltage electricity, so nothing that would shock anyone, but they wear a metal vest, and that's how the low voltage will be in the blade. If it touches the metal vest, it'll complete the circuit, and that's how you know that you can score. But yeah. Any other fencing questions?
People usually yell during matches, or is it usually like tennis where it's kind of quiet?
I'm a yeller. I don't know. I can't answer for everybody, but yeah, definitely it's a very high energy sport. When you watch, in particular, saber, every time you hit, a lot of times it's a very high energy. It's a combat sport, so you get a lot of screaming. Taekwondo, as soon as you kick, you kind of let out a yell. And so there's a lot of high energy involved in that, and that's one of the parts of the sport that makes it a lot of fun. Is that there's a lot of people who get very excited, really fighting for it. So there's definitely a lot of energy in that way. Questions? Stretches, just for, okay, general stretches, yeah, there's definitely a bunch of lunges, as you see. They're making the attacks and they're lunging out, so we have to make sure that, that for that motion, you're gonna be able to do a lot of stretching to be able to do that. So a lot of this, like leg core strength, being able to make it on a tap and recover. A lot of times people equate fencing and ballet or other theater sports because there's so much flexibility as well as core balance. So you have to be very, coordination is very good. You didn't see any shots here, but they do a lot of actions where they're going to go for the hand. The hand is a very small target, and it's very hard to hit, so you have to have a lot of finesse. So a very small amount of movement with the fingers is going to equate to a lot of movement at the end.